Hello everyone, welcome to TheDonNews. It is August 11th and this will be coming out August 12th. There may be two news articles on the 12th because I'm recording this at 1 a.m. on the 11th because there was some very interesting breaking news and I just wanted to get it up and talk about it. So this may be a little bit of a shorter one today, but that's alright. Square Enix's new earnings report drops stock prices. By VGC, according to Final Fantasy, it did not do well. Square Enix, it did not do well with Final Fantasy 16. And it did not meet the high-end expectations of what they were going for. And they said that it is dealing with adoption issues. They're blaming Sony for their own failure. Now, I recently streamed Final Fantasy 16. In fact, you can get a couple of VODs today. But it wasn't really Sony's fault. In fact, Sony gave him money. Sony did a whole bunch of stuff for him. The game, it was fine. It was nothing special. The 11 hours of cutscenes were a bit crazy, but it was fast-paced. I don't know. It just wasn't... It wasn't, how should I say it? It didn't appeal to anybody. If you know what I mean by that. It didn't appeal to Japanese audiences because they didn't like some of the subject matters in the game. But it also didn't really appeal to Americans because it still follows that Japanese style of writing. Now, I am a huge fan of Final Fantasy, so this criticism's coming from a point of love, but it could be better. Now, am I going to buy some of the stock while it's down? Absolutely. You crazy? I'm definitely going to buy some right now. And I highly recommend you guys do that. But Final Fantasy 16 is not to blame for Square Enix's failures. And I bet Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will be way better than 16. Almost guaranteed. Let's do this news article next. The Series X to Xbox One sales comparison. Now, this came out a little bit ago, and according to them right here and right here, the Series X and Series S is somehow lagging behind the Xbox One. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, I get it, sure. You pretty much almost all Series X games work on the Xbox One, but the Series S is so cheap, comparison-wise. $300 still some money, right? Comparison-wise, that I am surprised that this is even something we have to talk about, because the Xbox Series X is so much better. Now, I want to tell you, I have owned an Xbox One S, One X, Series S, and Series X. And I got rid of the 1S and Series S, and I still have the 1X and Series X. That's a lot to say. And the 1X is a fantastic console, super great, and the Series X is honestly my preferred console of choice to play on, unless like Sony exclusives or if it's not on Xbox and it's on PS5 or Switch, PS5 still. But other than that, I'll get it for the Xbox. Now, there's one series I don't do that with. That would be Assassin's Creed. I get that on the PS5. Long story with that one, but it's basically I like where the buttons are in comparison. But yeah, I thought this was interesting. Bob Iger has shut down anticipated Disney Live remake. Now I like Bobby Boy. He's back, and he's trying to fix Disney, who's been a massive failure for many years now. I kind of hate Disney. Disney doesn't really do good stuff anymore. In fact, I didn't even go see the new Indiana Jones, and I want to, but I didn't bother. It didn't look good. The Marvel projects seem to be their best bet, other than literally the Marvels, which look terrible. Marvels looks terrible. McDonald's might help them. I doubt it, but maybe. But the Marvels, ugh. The last good one was what? Guardians of the Galaxy 3? But this is what my disappointment is. I really wanted to see the Hunchback of Notre Dame remade. Out of all the movies, you didn't get remade. You didn't get. You had Aladdin. You had. Did they have Cinderella? I'm not sure. You have Beauty and the Beast and Dumbo. This movie's not being remade. Seriously, come on now. What kind of nonsense is that? Bring it back. Bring it back. Come over here. You see that face? That's a beautiful face. That pig right there. I want to see that in real live action. Okay. This is really disappointing. I get it. It costs a lot of money to do a live action remake, and not only does it cost money, and they're losing a whole bunch of money with their Disney movies lately. They just had a bunch of layoffs, so I'm not surprised, but it's still disappointing. I'm going to let this settle in. Yeah? No. That title makes absolute sense. No. Do I even need to say anything with this article? Ken is my abuser. Ken. The abuse. I'm just going to read a little bit of this. It's scary that there's been so much Ken love from the audiences because he's just so harmless and affable. Until he's not. I expected Greg we relationship with Ryan Gosling's Ken. Okay, relationship in quotes. Illicit sympathy, love bombing, confidences. Wait, I experienced was not. In fact, a relationship, a campaign of sexual predation by male supervisors at work. Someone who initially perplexed, even annoyed, but who managed through love bombing confidences designed to elicit sympathy to convince me that he was misunderstood and was a friend. I have really bad dyslexia, so I'm sorry for reading that like that. But our working relationship, which is Betts felt like a light from a creative collaboration, developed quickly into a chipped away at every boundary. Oh yeah. So I saw the film with my husband, and he confessed to being bewildered, bothered even by Barbie Land ending. Especially when Barbie apologizes to Ken, saying not every night has to be girls' night. Oh, I get why she said that. I did the same thing. Barbie doesn't like when you did the same thing. This movie ruins people. If you have literal pea brains, pea brains. This movie is for people who just go there and be like, yeah, Everything in that movie's great, factual, absolutely accurate to real life. Do you know that like what 2,000 people get murdered in Chicago every year, and this is what you're worried about? Come on now, come on. As a woman, you have to force yourself to detach and look at the situation while watching the film and recognize the villainy. In fallings of feel substantial guilt. At one point, Ken screams Barbie that she failed him. Alright, I'm not a woman, so I don't know. Okay, I can't speak much about this. But, you know, men have to give up a lot to get themselves a woman, okay? Men have to be clean. Men have to be nice. Men have to be polite. You know, it's very hard for men to do these things. Men have to not cheat, which is surprisingly unlikely for a lot of people. But I don't want to get into another story about that. Basically, the point I'm trying to make is this woman is a ridiculous fraud who has a big statement that is absolutely ridiculous. I want to say her relationship may be true. I don't want to say that it's not, but it's absurd to me that she even, like, this guy knows that this woman has a husband. Come on. I feel like she's exaggerating a little bit. But, you know, I'm not here to judge. I'm only here to literally judge. That's my job, is to judge articles, the news. So, I call this crappy news. But I thought it would be interesting to go over to get my feelings a little bit more on the Barbie movie, because the Barbie one was quite popular. So, but that's all I have for you today. There may be another one coming up after this. I'm not sure. So if there is, keep a lookout. If there isn't, it would show up about 15 minutes after this. So keep a lookout. But if it isn't, then I hope you have a good rest of your day, and come back tomorrow for the next news video. Have a good one, everyone.